Hi, Alexis. How
Hi.
are you?
Good, how are you?
Can you tell me about your upcoming lesson on fluency with Ella?
Yes. So I feel like fluency has really been a weakness of mine, and really trying to gauge where Ella is has been kind of tough for me.
Okay.
So I've been working on sight words in isolation and trying to improve her word identification.
Okay, so have you, actually, can you just tell me a little bit about what you've observed throughout your lessons and your assessments to lead you to your decision to work on sight words in isolation?
Yeah, so I've noticed that there's still a lot of sight words that Ella doesn't know. And when I gave her the CRI word list, she was only able to read the pre-primer list and not even with 100% accuracy.
Okay.
So I've decided to work solely on sight words in isolation. And then one of my last lessons, also gave her like 8 of the Fry phrases, just to see how she does on that, and that was really difficult for her.
Okay, so word identification has been difficult, and using the Fry list was also difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what you observed when you gave Ella the Fry list and what made it so difficult for her?
There were several words that she struggled with, including like the first one I think was something like with the people, and like she didn't know the word people,
Okay.
and she wanted to read it as like sentences
Okay.
rather than phrases. So then I had to go back and explain the difference between phrases and sentences. I don't know if it's just the way like I had it laid out for her, but with each sentence there was at least one sight word from the very beginning that she did not know.
Okay, so it does seem that Ella struggles with word identification. Can you tell me a little bit about how you've been supporting her with that?
Yeah, so I've used Chalk for rainbow writing. I've had her play the dice game to improve her automaticity, so having her roll the dice and reading each word and timing her on how many more words she can read per minute. I'm also thinking of incorporating magnets and having her build the words. But I don't know, I'm still kind of struggling on where to go.
Okay. Do those strategies seem to be successful?
I think so. I mean, she really seems to enjoy the hands-on approach and using the manipulations, and she's really loving the chalk. On days that we don't use it, she
That's
asks
great.
to use it, so I feel like that's been working.
Okay. Have you ever gone into the library and explored the texts that the library has to see if there's specific sight word readers?
I have. I'm having difficulty finding ones that focus like on the words that I've been teaching her, like could, should, would. After talking to Dr. Lee the other day, she did mention there are sight word readers. So I went, new ones. So I went in to look at those and I grabbed a handful to kind of look through. But since Ella is struggling with so many different sight words, I figured even if the words I haven't taught her recently aren't in there, it's still going to benefit her to be reading those.
Okay, so how might you incorporate this book or the sight word reader into your fluency work to help support reading sight words in context?
So I'm thinking of first giving Ella the book and having her hunt for specific sight words. So like maybe through each page, pick a word and have her find it and use the Wixie sticks to underline it.
Okay.
And then going back and having her read through the book and getting a better idea of her word identification in context.
Okay, so I look forward to seeing how Ella does with that specific activity. When you're looking at the 4 elements of fluency, which one do you think Ella struggles the most with?
Well, I think going into first grade, rate and expression aren't my biggest concerns. She is struggling with rate, but that's because she is having trouble with accuracy. And
Okay.
I think accuracy is affecting, obviously, her rate. So accuracy is definitely, like, my biggest concern right now.
Okay, so let me just kind of restate how you plan on helping Ella work through her accuracy weakness. So you'd like to begin to use a sight word reader to help her with words in context. And you plan on having her hunt for the words in the book and underlining them to give her a visual that that's the word that you've been working on.
Yes.
And strengthen her sight word knowledge and context, correct?
Yeah.
So how might you also include work on sight words in isolation with Ella?
So I feel like I've been doing a lot of work on that already, but I want to obviously continue doing that, and she really enjoys working with different manipulatives. So I'm thinking of having her try using magnets and maybe laying out a word scrambled up and having her unscramble it and read it, and maybe do that with each word or do it a couple of times with each word. And maybe also having I have flashcards, but the flashcards I have right now are only on the sight words I've taught her. So maybe having like a sight word ring with all the sight words that I know she knows.
I think the sight word ring would be a great incorporation to that. Would you also maybe consider sending the sight word home for Ella to practice reading?
I think that could be a good idea, or just giving more suggestions on how they could do word hunts at home with sight words.
So it sounds like you have a strong plan moving forward on how to incorporate reading material into your fluency work and how to support her with sight words in isolation and in context. So when I come in today, what would you like me to watch?
I'm thinking of maybe I want to do like a little bit of work on sight words in isolation and then incorporate the book. So I'm thinking of having you know the words she's struggling to read in context. So just focusing on that part maybe.
Okay.
So noting the words she's struggling with in context, and then maybe how long it takes her to read the words that she's struggling with.
Okay. And how would you like me to collect that data for you?
Maybe I can copy the pages of the book.
Okay.
That might be best, and kind of do like a running record with it.
Okay.
Only focusing on which words she's pausing at and struggling with, and then maybe how long it takes her to read those words.
Okay, I can definitely do that for you. So I will come in today and I will observe that for you.
Okay, great.
Thanks.